And thanks, Arthel. Good handoff, by the way, just a moment ago.
You're welcome.
Well, now there are two high-profile abuse scandals hitting the prominent players in the NFL, and there are also growing calls for an outside investigation. Now the league handles domestic violence cases. Some actually now calling for the commissioner, Robert Goodell, to step down. Is that fair? Robert Schalk is a defense attorney and former prosecutor. Richard St. Paul, a defense attorney. Robert and Richard, welcome. Let me start with you first, Richard. They announced that the NFL announces that former FBI Director Robert Mueller is going to investigate the Ray Rice case. Now that you have the second one, should there be maybe a widespread panel to examine the behavior of the players off the field, or is that not fair?
No, I think, look, you handle things on a case-to-case basis. The NFL is an employer and an organization. We don't, because Bank of New York or any other corporation has problems with their employees, you don't go calling for outside help. Here, I think the NFL is doing the right thing. They're calling in an investigator, much like Chris Christie did as governor. He called in a law firm to investigate whether anything was mishandled. It's the same type of thing for the NFL. They need to take in-house responsibility of what's happening and determine if there needs to be any change in policies.
Robert, have they legally, do you think, taken the appropriate action?
So far, yes. I think they need to continue doing it, though. I think that idea of a panel is a really good idea. They can use community resources, people that work with domestic violence victims, members of law enforcement, district attorneys' offices to get opinions on how they can deter this stuff from continuing, but also in an effort to rehabilitate these guys. Most of them have no criminal records. Make sure they take either in Peterson's class parenting classes and Ray Rice's class domestic violence batters intervention classes, so this doesn't happen again.
Look, corporations have, like, sexual abuse type of hostile work environment classes, sort of thing. Do they do that in the NFL, or is this like overreach?
No, this would not be overreach. The question is the NFL doing enough to control the behavior of their players off the field, and can they do more? I think, and we've all learned to think, that they can do more to control that behavior off the field by offering the same type of policies that other corporations offer. Sensitivity training. We've already seen in Miami, an incident dealing with race. So they've got it all. The NFL has become a microcosm of what the United States, what issues in the United States are, and so they certainly used to take steps to minimize them.
Well, that's a very important point. I mean, they're very prominent. They're stars, millions and millions of dollars a year. We all know about this, but you're, in a sense, right that these are the problems that we face throughout the country.
Right, we deal with this every single day in a criminal courthouse. I mean, we have clients who are the victims of domestic violence who don't want to proceed, such as the Ray Rice situation. We have clients who, punish their kids and sometimes overstep that and get arrested. So the spotlight is shining on the NFL, and I think how they react can actually help dictate some of the policies that you may see courts and DA's office adopt moving forward.
I mean, and let's face it, these NFL players, not only NFL players, but their sports stars are looked at as idols. Right. So their behavior is scrutinized. So should we try to help them with their behavior? Certainly, because we don't want other people repeating that type of behavior off the field, too.
Now, in terms of the Ray Rice Goodell situation, there are some calls for him to step down. Do you think that's fair? I mean, look, he came out and said he had that meeting that he says Rice was, there was some ambiguity in what he said. The Rice people were apparently telling ESPN or sources saying, no, Rice told him to his face that he hit his then fiancée.
Right, classic he said when it comes to pointing the fingers, everyone's going to look to protect themselves. But you have to take this into consideration is that, Roger Goodell, knew what happened irrespective of what the video showed. He knew what happened.
Does it matter if he saw the tape itself?
To me, it doesn't matter. I think he feels that he took a lot of heat for the 2-game suspension, and I think this is his ability to now backtrack from that and give a tougher punishment. Yeah. But I don't think he needed to see it to know what happened.
No, it doesn't matter if anyone saw that, because they got that voicemail from some female woman, executive maybe, saying it's terrible, while the NFL says they don't know, they didn't see the tape.
No, I agree that he didn't need to see the video to know what happened. I mean, Ray Rice was charged with third-degree aggravated assault, which means that you hit somebody. So the police report would tell you he hit his wife. But whether he saw the video or not is important, because whether he lied, if he lied, he doesn't have the credibility to move forward. How can you sit in a position as a commissioner and judge everybody else and discipline everybody else if you're sitting there lying? So that becomes a very important factor, whether or not what he knew and when he knew it.
So, Richard, what do you think happens? What do you predict? How does the NFL deal with this?
Look, they complete the investigation, the internal investigation, right? From that point on, they then determine whether they need to change any policies. We try to get to the bottom of what the commissioner knew and when he knew it. And in addition to that, change some policies, make sure that everybody is treated equally in the NFL. If you commit domestic violence, this is your punishment, period. Nobody's treated differently.
And Robert, do you think that'll happen?
I do, but I also think that a lot of it goes towards what people are subsequently convicted of. Allegations are allegations, convictions are convictions. They're two very different things, and you have to make sure that there's a middle road that they can reach where punishment fits the conviction, not necessarily the allegation.
I guess bottom line, you got to be fair.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's right.
Richard, Robert, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
The FBI is not investigating. I want to clear that up. It's the former director of the FBI,
Yes.
Robert Mueller, who's been called in by the NFL to have this kind of quasi-outside, inside investigation.